Hi, my name's Gail Moody-Byrd, and I'm here hosting a conversation with Mark Yolton, SVP of SAP Marketing. I'm hosting the conversation, but I'll also be joined by Graham Robinson, who's an SAP mentor. We're going to talk to Mark about 2013 and our experiences with 2013 and what we can expect in the future for the community. So let me start by kicking things off with a question. So Mark, 2011, 2012 were interesting months for us. We're 8 months into the new SAP Community Network. It's been quite a ride. I looked back at your blogs, you chronicled them. Everything from better, faster, stronger to we're here with the new SCN 2 days in. What was it like as a leader to take not only the team, but 2 million community members through that transformation?
Yeah, thanks, Gail, and thanks, Graham, for co-hosting with Gail. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of years. We have heard for a long time that our community members wanted something different from SCN, the SAP Community Network. They wanted more functionality. They wanted to move faster. They wanted faster innovation. The community members started to diversify, so we didn't have just developers or even just IT people and technologists, but actually business people wanted to start to be more and more engaged and involved in the community. And so they were looking for some capabilities that couldn't offer them in a rapid enough advance of innovation on the now old platform. So we went through a series of probably 2 years of investigating what could we do in order to make the community more responsive, more capable of serving these diverse needs, and in going through a more rapid advance of innovation, always forward-moving innovation. We came to the conclusion that we needed to change the platform. What we had built starting in 2003 had become a Frankenstein monster of pieces and parts and platforms and capabilities all tied and bundled together. It was like spaghetti code, where whenever we introduced a new innovation, something else would break. So it was just really difficult for us to move forward, difficult for us to help serve the community in the way that it wanted to be served. So we came to the conclusion that we needed to change the platform. We then had to come up with money in order to do it. We had to convince people internally to SAP that this was the right thing to do and that we needed to move forward in this way and that we needed to make a massive investment and to do essentially a reset, version 2.0, push the Control-Alt-Delete and start again with a new platform, and we needed to socialize this within the 2 million plus members of the community so that they would understand what we were doing, why we were doing it, what it would feel like, what it would seem like. We knew that this was going to be as much a changing of hearts and minds as it was changing of a technology platform. And so it became something of a social experiment as well as a technological experiment. We suffered the slings and arrows of doubters and people who thought it wasn't the right thing to do, even after we were finished with it, as Graham will attest. But there were some people that didn't like what we did. They liked the old better than they liked the new. So it was really, I would call it a change management exercise to the nth degree. I would also say that it requires a degree of stubbornness, in essence, to say, okay, we heard you. We've taken all this feedback and input into account. We've made a decision. We're moving forward. And despite the doubts and the misgivings that creep in over time, you have to keep this vision. We're going to move forward. We're going to go in this direction. This is what it's going to be. We're going to veer a little bit left or right in order to respond to changing requirements or new learning as we go through the process. But we're going to head toward this direction, and we're going to not stop until we're done.
And I've got to say that I'm reluctant to mention names because there's so many people on your team that have done such amazing work to work through not just problems and issues, but to work really hands-on with people and respond to as much as they best can, as you say, in a very large community, to respond individually to stuff like that. And so that's a credit to your people and your leadership. So that's been fantastic to see. What are sort of the the big challenges, the biggest challenges, I guess, that you had to handle in that change management process? And what do you see, because a change management process never finishes, right? What do you see they will be going forward as well?
Right. Well, thank you for the kudos to the team, because they get all the credit. There are some incredible people, and I'm glad you didn't name names, because there's about 100 people, and we would never get through them all, and I'm sure we'd forget one of them. But it was just a fantastic team. They really did. And actually, as you know, we had a false start. We were going to go live in December of 2012, and I pulled the ripcord right at the end and said, wait a minute, we're not ready. Some folks, including some of our friends and mentors and former mentors, criticized us at the time of, didn't you know that we weren't ready yet? And I said afterwards, I said, yes, I did know that we weren't ready, but you know, sort of like a coach in a sports team, you don't give up in the third inning because you're behind. You play all the way out to the ninth inning, and once we got to the bottom of the ninth, I said, we're not going to make it, right? I got to pull the ripcord. So we did know that we were going to have challenges, but that challenge gave us a new opportunity. Number one, we were able to bring in 1,000 members of the community to be beta testers. So we were then able to beta test between December of 2011 and March of 2012, but when we finally did go live publicly, and we had 1,000 people beta testing and so forth. One of the challenges that we experienced was the experience of that beta testing period was very different from the experience of when we flipped the switch on. So when we flipped that switch on, the navigation behaviors were very different from what we expected. And so we really had some terrible load problems. We had a couple widgets that didn't work well, that were really sucking a lot of energy out of the system so that it was performing very badly. We had to turn off those widgets, and actually one of those widgets was a most popular content widget, which we were relying on very heavily, because we were relying on this widget to bring the good stuff up to the top so that we didn't have to curate that good stuff anymore. And so when we turned off that widget, oh my gosh, we didn't have a good fallback plan, because our assumption was the technology is going to pull the good stuff up to the top based on people reading and reviewing and liking and favoriting and recommending this content, and it's not getting pulled up to the top, so we have a real curation problem. That was one of the things that was really tough. The other was, Gail, to her credit, she and her team were in charge of winning hearts and minds about the new platform that we were moving to, and they did such a great job that in December, everybody was saying, where is my new platform? So that when we delayed till March, there was this great this great disappointment. So those were a couple of the things. I will say that Jive, the company, Jive, the platform, the Jive people at Jive Software were tremendous partners with us. They jumped in to help us solve technology problems. They helped us with configuration things that we didn't get right. They have been really a great partner to us on the technology platform. Now we need to change the behaviors of the people. In some ways, we're sort of forgetting how difficult the old platform was and romanticizing how great it was in the good old days. And so in the imperfect current world, we're just moving forward and constantly changing, adapting. We've gone to an agile Scrum process with our development team so that we can move faster and introduce innovations and even bug fixes or innovations more quickly. So those are some of the things that we've experienced over the recent past.
So let me shift topics a little bit. I'm going to tie two ideas together.
Okay.
One of them was Clay Shirky and his idea of cognitive surplus was fascinating, that people have free time and they really want to contribute. They're going to stop watching TV, they already have, and they want to engage online. So that's one idea. The second idea is we've come to Tech Ed with this idea of Tech Ed to go. That people have a great experience here, all the learning, all the connections, you can take that home with you by joining the community. So how would you advise people who are here at the event to join us online after they leave the event and go home?
Okay, great. I thought Clay Shirky's comments about cognitive surplus resonated a lot, because that's really what our community is all about.
Yes.
It's 2 to 2.5 million people engaged in our community. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.2 million people who visit every month. It's a tremendous number. If each of those people just does a little bit to answer a question or ask a question or comment or on a blog or like content or rate something, it will help the rest of the community. The idea of cognitive surplus from Clay Shirky is give a little bit of time, spend your time doing something productive to help others, as opposed to just consuming. That's the whole idea of what the SAP Community Network is about. We didn't know it was cognitive surplus back in the 2003 when we started doing this as SDN, but that's essentially what it is. He's captured essentially the behavior. So the idea of the community is we can connect and collaborate and contribute and help each other to improve and to be successful with very complex SAP products and solutions. On a regular basis, on an everyday basis, we can share knowledge, we can be more insightful and more wise in the way that we deploy these things because we can learn from other people's experiences. We don't have to experience their mistakes. We can actually, we can learn from their mistakes and skip over that mistake in order to deploy or to configure or to upgrade, get advice about upgrades and solutions and how things might fit together in order to solve a business or a technology problem. The collective wisdom of the community is what is the secret sauce in there, and people don't get it until they actually do it. They don't get it until they start to participate. They don't get it until they start consuming on a regular basis. So I would say as you leave SAP Tech Ed, or if people are watching online and haven't been able to make it to Las Vegas for Tech Ed, connect on the SAP Community Network. Subscribe to some of the newsletters as reminders to come back because it's not yet a habit. But over time, just consume the content, comment on other people's things, answer a question if you can answer a question, ask a question if you have one, share your experiences with each other. You'll find that you learn from the experience of contributing, and you'll find that you'll learn from other people. You'll also make some great connections that help you in your career.
Absolutely. And just from my personal perspective, let me add to that one of the best way to, in my opinion, to know a subject is to try and teach it to someone else and try and give someone else advice, because then you have to see the subject through their eyes, not your own. So it comes through. It's great.
Great point.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So what's coming? What's coming next? 2013 is not far away. Very interested to know what improvements, not just to the online community, but the SAP Community Network is looking at putting in.
Okay, perfect. We have a number of things that have been in the works. So we are about to launch a mobile capability for SCN. So you really can take SCN to go, right?
Yes.
You can take TechEd to go, you can take SCN to go, you can do it from any device.
As if we don't have enough. Too much SCN is not enough.
Yes, too much. There is never too much SCN. So SCN Mobile will go live very shortly. We're in the testing phase right now to make sure everything works well. We're beta testing with a smaller number of people, and we're going to go live with mobile so that you can follow discussions, answer discussion forums, look up the blogs, participate completely from a mobile device. We'll also see greater integration of our community with, let's call them traditional, it's kind of funny to call them traditional, but SAP.com and our websites. So you'll see our blog content that's published in SCN today showing up on the more formal SAP.com and its 72 websites, country websites in 40 languages around the world. So the community content is going to start to populate the more traditional spaces like SAP.com. We have a vision that about 50% of all of our web properties content will be coming from our community, our customers and our partners, not SAP employees, by some future date, let's say 2015. So that's one step in that direction. So there will be a greater integration of community, social media, and SAP.com all as one total experience. You'll also see it as part of the buying experience if people are in the store. We're also going to see an upgrade of gamification. So we had Jane McGonigal here last year who talked about gamification and its business value. We've actually been doing gamification since 2003 or 2004 because we had point systems. Again, we didn't know that we were on the cusp of something interesting that was going to be a global trend, but actually gamification is an important trend. You'll see that mature and evolve and become better so that people are rewarded and can build their reputations within our community through gamification. We have Idea Place, which is the way that we get crowdsourced outside-in feedback to our products and features and capabilities back into our product groups. So we'll see Idea Place go onto a new platform so that it's more usable and provides greater value and insight, not just to the community members, but also to SAP, so that we can prioritize product innovations based on what our community members and customers say they'd like to see from us. You'll see a lot more focus on developers. We had SDN,
Good.
we lost a little bit of focus of developers. We're coming back, as you can tell from today's Tech Ed conference, that there is a huge focus on developers again at SAP. A great focus on technology innovation and on the people who do that innovation, which is developers. We have a vision of 1 million more developers developing on SAP by 2015. So a great focus on developers.
And
We
1
will
million won't be enough.
1 million won't be enough, but
Yep.
it's a start.
Yep.
1 million more.
Yep.
We will also expand more to business users, so you'll see greater business users, lines of business people, HR people, finance people, marketing people, et cetera, in our community. You'll see the Download Center getting better. The Download Center is one of the most popular areas of any online community, and you'll see that get better, and you'll see a revamping of the Top Contributor Program. We recognized last night a number of top contributors on stage. We think we need to really revamp that because we haven't taken a clean piece of paper to that one and re-looked at the top contributor program since its early inception.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Lots and lots of changes.
So let me move to our last question.
Sure.
So Mark, your responsibilities have recently expanded. You hinted at this in the last answer, but can you be a little more specific about your responsibilities, how they've changed, how the community members might experience a different kind of SCN, and the integration with some of the other digital properties that you're now
Sure,
responsible for?
Yeah. Early this year, we merged social media at SAP with our communities, 2 different organizations. We always viewed the community, SAP Community Network, and the SAP Developer Network before that as social networking. That's what it was. So when social media came along, it was a natural extension of what we did, but we didn't have responsibility for SAP's overall social media strategy, governance, practices, and engagement models, and so forth. We merged those into our team. The community team and the social media team came together in January or February of this year. That was a great addition because those two, it's like peanut butter and jelly. These 2 things go very well together.
No, they don't.
No,
Peanut butter and jelly don't go very well
non-Americans
together.
don't like peanut butter and jelly. I learned that.
I didn't know that.
We are a global company, and I do know that. The third thing that we moved in the middle of the year was digital, or digital marketing. It's SAP.com. SAP.com has 72 websites in 40 languages in order to serve local markets. So we see a natural affinity between SAP.com, digital marketing, social media, and communities. And instead of calling it digital, social, and communities, we call it DISCO.
I can't believe the name. Who
It's
came
very
up with
cool.
the name? Was that an SAP marketing
it was-
idea?
Yes, I'm sure it was an SAP marketing
Someone
person.
told me it was you.
Somebody cringed. It might have been me, but I won't admit to it.
Okay.
It
And
makes
is
us
the-
all smile when we
Yes.
say disco.
So DISCO is our new team name, Digital, Social, and Communities.
And is the logo a mirror ball?
No, it is not. Yeah, we aren't allowed to have a logo because SAP's logo is the only
Okay.
logo that we use. But what that essentially means is that individuals' online experience is going to greatly improve. Instead of it being separate and distinct experiences, it should really be one experience. Whenever anybody deals with SAP, we want it to feel holistic. We want them to feel like it is all part of one continuous thread and that it's easy. I just came from a meeting with the store team, the online store team, and that's yet the 4th piece that we need to merge into this experience because we have people going through the entire life cycle with SAP from learning about, to discovery, to education, to buying, to implementing, to upgrading. We want to cover that entire experience and make sure that the holistic experience of our customers with SAP is seamless, easy, it makes sense, and it serves them well and provides great value. So that's the whole idea of this merging of groups.
Okay, so I think that's a wrap. Thank you, Graham, for
very
co-hosting
welcome.
with me. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mark, for your answers.
Thank you, Gail.
Here we are, live from Tech Ed. Any other questions about the community, feel free to stop by at the SAP Community Network Clubhouse, which is behind me. Personal tours, lots of great welcomes, and we'll give you an SAP Tech Ed to go button. Thank you.